CBS Sports presents the NCAA Championship. The road to Dallas winds through Kansas City for a Midwest regional game between Kansas and Michigan State in sold-out Kemper Arena. Kansas hopes to return to the glorious era of 30 years ago. In the mid-50s, it was 7-foot Wilt the Still Chamberlain, who was a dominating factor during a period of Jayhawk excellence. In the mid-80s, that role is filled by Danny Manning. Only a sophomore, Danny Manning has already attracted massive national attention and is regarded by many as the most complete tall man currently competing in the collegiate ranks. Though just shy of 7 feet tall, he's blessed with the agility of a point guard. And though leading his team in scoring, he's perhaps the most unselfish man on the squad. Danny Manning, the Big 8 Player of the Year and a second-team All-American in this, his second season. Larry Brown is now in his 3rd year on the Lawrence campus, and the much-traveled coach seems to have quietly found his niche. Michigan State coach Judd Heathcote, now in his 10th season in Lansing, is a bit more animated, perhaps because he believes the magic is back. It was just 7 years ago that Urban Magic Johnson dazzled basketball fans across the nation, leading the Spartans through a mystical season culminated by the school's only NCAA title. Now Scott Skiles has Michigan State fans dreaming of a return to the throne. The 6'1" guard from Plymouth, Indiana, has roared into controversial national prominence in this, his senior season. He's a wizard on the court in all phases of the game and has been more responsible for his team's success than any other player in the nation. It's Kansas against Michigan State next. Kansas City for tonight's Midwest Regional semifinal between the Spartans of Michigan State and the Jayhawks from Kansas. Good evening, everybody. I'm Vern Lundquist, and welcome to Kemper Arena in Kansas City. The countdown to the Final 8 continues here tonight with either Kansas or Michigan State going on to a Sunday encounter. Let's bring you up to date with what's happened so far. In Atlanta tomorrow, it'll be Kentucky going against LSU for the Southeast Regional title. In Houston tomorrow, it'll be the strong Auburn team matched against Louisville for the Western Regional Championship. Earlier here this evening, Jim Valvano's team did it again. They outlasted Iowa State and won it by a count of 70-66. Now, we do have a tape-delayed game coming up later this evening on CBS. For those of you who would not like to know the score, turn away for about 5 seconds. For those of you who want to know who won between Navy and Cleveland State, take a quick look. Our expert analyst tonight is former Harvard player James Brown. James, it's obvious that Kansas comes in seeded #1 in this region, justifiably so. Very tall team, terrific talent. How does Michigan State counter that? Well,
Michigan State can counter their lack of size and height with speed, quickness, and good shooting from the perimeter. They're also a very tenacious ball club, Vern, and there's no doubt that Scott Skiles is their ferocious leader. The thing that makes him so good, in addition to his scoring, is that he's a tenacious ball player, and that's contagious with the rest of his teammates.
There's going to be a spotlight on Scott Skiles all night long. Larry Brown knows that. How does the Kansas team defense his talent?
Larry Brown has an immense amount of confidence in Cedric Hunter, a 6-foot ball player who's lightning quick with quick hands, and he's played some great ball players. Johnny Dawkins of Duke, Milt Wagner of Louisville. The key thing is he knows Scott Skiles is going to get his points, but he's got to make them work for him, and hopefully with a poor field goal shooting percentage.
All right. That's on the agenda for this evening. It's Kansas against Michigan State coming up next here from Kansas City.
Tonight's Midwest Regional semifinal game is sponsored by Mercedes-Benz, engineered like no other car in the world. Exceptionally smooth Michelob. Where you're going, it's Michelob. And by Michelin. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
Live at Kemper Arena in Kansas City, Missouri for Kansas against Michigan State. And now for the starting lineups. Let's go to our public address announcer, Mark Fitzpatrick.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Kemper Arena for this evening's Midwest Regional semifinal game between the Michigan State University Spartans and the University of Kansas Jayhawks. Now let's meet the starting lineup. For Michigan State, at forward, a 6'8" senior from Sterling Heights, Michigan, number 35, Larry Pollock. For Kansas, at forward, a 6'11" sophomore from Lawrence, Kansas, number 25, Danny Manning. For Michigan State, at forward, a 6'6" junior from Detroit, Michigan, number 23, Vernon Carr. For Kansas, at forward, a 6'5" junior from Omaha, Nebraska, number 44, Ron Kellogg. For Michigan State, at center, a 6'8" junior from Buffalo, New York, number 40, Barry Fordham. For Kansas, at center, a 7'1" senior from Wichita, Kansas, number 30, Greg Briley. For Michigan State, at guard, a 6'2" junior from Flint, Michigan, number 13, Darrell Johnson. For Kansas, at guard, a 6' junior from Omaha, Nebraska, number 22, Cedric Hunter. For Michigan State, at guard, a 6'1" senior from Plymouth, Indiana, number 4, Scott Skiles. And for Kansas, at guard, a 6'6" senior from Kansas City, Kansas, number 35, Calvin Thompson. And introducing the head coaches for Michigan State in his 10th season, Judd Heathcote. For Kansas in his 3rd season, Larry Brown.
Kansas against Michigan State. The Jayhawks against the Lansing Michigan Spartans coming up next.